Marry pure, choose the right caste and class. The veg-non-veg divide. Brown and dark are not beautiful. Fair means lovely, Muslim means barbaric, violent, Dalit means dirty and even untouchable. To be poor is to be excluded from the policy and planning of the state and dignified inclusion in society. Homophobia directs hate against the LGBTQIA community. Aren't we all in some way or another prejudiced? How do prejudiced attitudes transform into acts of prejudice? How do these then build up to discrimination in employment, housing, educational discrimination, and harassment? How do these then further build up to violence against the targeted sections? Property, arson, desecration, attacks on faith systems, beliefs, threats, assaults, terrorism, even murder.
ये तुम्हारी हालत होगी। ये लो, ये हाथ फैलाओ हमारे देश में ऐसा करो। ये तुम्हारे हर जिहादी की हालत, जिहाद खत्म कर दो, बाकी ये हालत होगी तुम्हारे हर जिहादी की।
If unchecked, how do these then culminate into a full-blown genocide, deliberate systemic extermination of an entire people? The Hate Hataao app is meant to track, document, and act against acts of hate of all kinds. The purpose is to use available mechanisms of law to prevent the spread of targeted hate. The aim is to prevent the build-up of targeted violence against our most marginalized sections. Let's understand hate better. Let's distinguish between religious and communal. Communalism is the misuse of religion for political mobilization. Let's call out caste hatred, misogyny, anti-girl and women abuse, like for example, the threat of physical defilement or even rape. And homophobia, let's call out hate comments against the economically disadvantaged. Let's build a band of constitutional activists who track, document, and intervene to prevent hate from spiraling to a crescendo when it spills over into blood on the streets. How does this slow boil happen or occur?
मंदिर वही होगा और बाबरी का निर्माण कहीं नहीं होगा। जिनको बाबरी का निर्माण करना हो, निकल जाए इस देश के अंदर से। यहाँ ना तो दो संविधान चलने देंगे, ना तो कानून चलने देंगे, ना तो झंडे चलने देंगे।
To hold strong religious beliefs may not be communal, but when we pit one belief against another, denigrating the other, we could have trouble. What is hate speech? What is insightful speech? To have a clear understanding, it is important to brush up our concepts. Liberty and equality are harmonious rights, not incongruous to each other. So, if free speech, which is Article 19(1), is crucial to ensure that everyone gets to voice an opinion, this liberty or freedom of an individual cannot wrest away either the equality, Article 14, or dignity, Article 21. These are some crucial pointers to understand hate speech. Does the speech or writing under scrutiny affect the equality, fraternity, and dignity of any section? Hate speech or hate writing, by its very nature, seeks to diminish the targeted sections' participation in economic, political, and social spheres. It attempts to reduce them to second-class citizens, to wrest them of their basic rights. Some other crucial pointers to understand hate speech and hate writing: who is the author, his or her power, stature, or authority? Who is the victim target? Section and background. These are crucial things. FOE, freedom of expression, is subject to equality. An interesting example can be learned from the case of 2006 in the 9th Circuit Court, Harper versus Poway United School District. Here, the nexus between equality and hate speech was most pertinently understood and recognized by the court. The court banned school students from wearing t-shirts which actually publicized homophobic content. The court recognized that such forms of speech would be detrimental to a historically vulnerable section. It would further disenfranchise the group which is struggling to find an identity for themselves. A democratic society is one where numerous communities live in conditions of equality and not subjugation. Hence, to engender equality, dignity and harmony, it is necessary to curb hate and insightful speech. The preamble of the Indian Constitution gives equal value and weight to concepts of justice, freedom, equality, and fraternity, one above the other, especially given the unequal power structures of Indian state and society, would upset social harmony. Dignity of the target group is also crucial to building our understanding. In the case of Francis Corelli-Mullin versus the Administrator, Union of India, in 1981, the court established that the meaning of life under Article 21 of the Constitution is that of a dignified life. Therefore, dignity is elemental to the basic personhood of individuals. It is based upon the belief that by virtue of being human, we need to possess dignity, and therefore we have the right to live in such conditions of dignity. Hate speech systematically dehumanizes and degrades target groups. It aims at diminishing the self-worth of members of such identifiable groups by forcing them to live in fear of expulsion or violence. A horizontal solidarity of the sisterhood or the brotherhood is critical to build mutual respect, and hate speech is antithetical to this, as it singles out a section of our own population and our own people and demeans them.
अगर तुम लोग अपने आप को सुरक्षित नहीं समझ रहे हो तो जाओ सालो पाकिस्तान, क्यों रह रहे हो हमारे भारत देश में? और हमारे हिंदू समाज के नौजवानों को कहना चाहूंगा, 50,000 का फोन खरीदते हो, 70,000 का फोन खरीदते हो, अरे घर में हथियार रखना सीखो, पहला हथियार रखो.
The Indian democratic system has had an ambivalent record in tackling hate and incitement. Also, learn a little bit about the various laws that deal with hate speech and insightful speech. Hate speech is dangerous at all times, but is prosecutable only when it is an incitement to violence. As we go further into this journey together, we will bring you examples, more and more examples of insightful speech, which, if stopped in time, could have prevented the outbreak of violence. Words such as mini Pakistan and quote-unquote unusable terms are used against sections of our own people to not just abuse them, but to force them to be provoked, after which a cycle of violence is unleashed. As conscientious citizens, let's join the Hate Hatao movement and ensure peace and harmony on the ground. If there is the use of abusive words against a caste, community, gender, ethnic group to provoke a violent reaction, if this hate speech acquires traction by being published in multiple forms, telecast on television networks, passed on WhatsApp,
जिन्होंने हमारे समाज के लोगों की हत्या की, युवकों को मौत के घाट उतार दिया, उन लोगों के साथ बैठकर कभी हमारा सम्मान बढ़ सकता है क्या?
If rumor mongering against the same sections is perpetuated to pass falsehoods, create fear, panic and insecurity among the rest who are the majority. If there are visits by leaders who use such speeches from a position of power and authority, if segregation and ghettoization of a group exists or is enforced, if there is socio-economic boycott, there is real danger that hate is likely to spill into violence. Report hate on Hate Hatao. A speech, a pamphlet, a WhatsApp, a newspaper clipping, a video clip, we will help you to take action. You will know what action is being taken. Depending on the nature of the hate speech or writing, we could approach the police, the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, the National Broadcasting Standards Authority, NBSA, and even social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Depending on the nature of the offence, we will also approach courts, register FIRs, etc. Help us build a strong grassroots network for peace and harmony for the Constitution now.